Hello. My name is Darrell Baxter, and I'm here to give you an explanation of resting potential, local potential, and action potential. Over here we have local potential, aka graded, which is a small change in the membrane potential caused by stimulus. It's a small gradual change. It's not going to be too immediate or too strong of a change. Um, it does not reach the threshold, so there's no action potential. As you see, the threshold is often negative 55. It's not even close to that. But it slowly allows in sodium or potassium out slowly, and it's graded by MVs, which is the membrane voltage. Here you have the action potential, which is triggered if the polarization reaches about negative 55 MVs. As you see, it's a rapid change in the membrane potential, a rapid, real immediate change, so it causes an action potential. It's when the channel opens up and allows sodium in and potassium rushes out, so it becomes positive. That's depolarization. Hyperpolarization is when the sodium just rushes out and becomes negative, but it becomes positive when, hyperpolarization is when it rushes, the potassium rushes out, but when sodium rushes in and everything becomes positive, that's depolarization. And here we have resting potential. As you see, it's just resting. The line, it just stays at negative 70 MVs. There's no signal, and there's a balance maintained between sodium and potassium. Next up, I'm going to explain the main regions of the brain along with the sub-regions and the functions of the brain. As you see with the Picasso pick, we have the main regions of the brain would be the cerebrum, which would be the main part of the brain, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. And then on the inside, it would be a region called the diencephalon. Yes, in this little region. All right. So first up, we would have the cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain. It's responsible for your thinking senses and all that, and it's broken into two hemispheres and is subdivided into four lobes: the frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital. The, the frontal lobe is for reasoning, decision making, and motor control. Next up, you have the parietal lobe, which is for your touches, your temperature, and spatial awareness. Then we have the temporal lobe, which is for hearing, memory, language. And of course, the occipital lobe is for your vision. And then on the inside, you can't really tell, but there's a space called the insula, which is responsible for emotions and taste. And then we have the cerebellum, or the hindbrain, which is the hindbrain would be the cerebellum in the brainstem. But the cerebellum is located at the back of the brain, below the cerebrum, and it's responsible for muscle movements, coordination, balance, and posture. And it contains the anterior lobe, which is your coordination and body movement, the posterior lobe, which is fine motor control and balance, and a region called the fluciolandular lobe, which is eye movement and balance. And along with this, we have the brain stem, which connects the brain and spinal cord as it goes down, and it regulates vital functions and whatnot. So there's three parts of the brain stem. You have the midbrain, the pons, which would be over in this region, and the medulla oblongata. All right, so the midbrain, which is higher up, is for visual auditory reflexes. Then the pons, which is it links to it links the cerebellum and the cerebrum, and it assists in breathing. And then below that, it would be the medulla oblongata, which is for your heart rate, your breathing, and your blood pressure. And then on the inside, there will be a region known as the diencephalon, which is the midbrain, which contains the thalamus, which is for your sensory signals to send to the cerebrum, and then the hypothalamus, which regulates hormones, hunger, thirst, and body temperature. The epithalamus, which or the pineal gland, which is responsible for your sleep and your wake patterns, and then the subthalamus, which controls your motor control, integrity, integration. Thank you for your time. You have a good day.